Aloha everyone, welcome back to our extended stream for Hawaii News Now, and we are waiting for a press conference to get underway about a tentative agreement between the Hawaii Teachers Union and the state, and we are waiting for Governor Josh Green, the BOE officials, DOE officials, and people from the Hawaii State Teachers Association to talk about this agreement. And so far, the information that we have is that this is going to be a 4-year contract deal. And in the tentative settlement, it includes a 14.5% raise for teachers over the life of the contract, which equates to over $10,000 for each on average. So professional development, improved working conditions, and we have some other teacher protections that will also be addressed in this tentative agreement. And the press conference is just underway. I'll take you to that right now.
Further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome the 9th Governor of the State of Hawaii, Governor Josh Green.
I'll do that. Very nice. Aloha, everyone. And I'm going to we're going to keep that board just a little clear. So welcome. I'm glad to see everybody. So we have reached a tentative agreement between the state and HSTA. And first I wanted to personally thank OSA, his team. They were very thoughtful about the needs of the teachers across the state, as I hope they feel DOE was, and our team. We really wanted to show respect. We value our teachers incredibly, and we know that they are the bedrock of our society. These are people that take care of our keiki, they educate them, they bring about the change that we need into the future. And so from the start, we felt that we had to pay teachers well enough to show that we not only respect them, but that they can live in Hawaii. And that's what I want to share today. So I'm going to have a couple slides, and here we go. So approximately 14.5% increase in pay over the course of the 4-year commitment for our public school teachers. This will increase the pay of a teacher at least $10,000 over the course of their contract. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about being able to afford to live in Hawaii. Other key points, this contract runs from July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2027. It does something additionally important. It creates a new class for our experienced teachers, the teachers that we have had so much commitment from for so long, who have honed their craft, who understand our culture completely, who have committed their lives and many years in service to our children and our families. They will be able to have an additional class, which means about 4%, is that correct? If they do that. And we spent considerable time on Friday together, which I was honored to be there in person, working with the team, to make sure it was achievable, that it was not overly onerous, because we want to also respect that they've been going through a lot of training over these years, including through tough times during COVID. So that was important. So these are our most experienced teachers. They're going to get that benefit. That's about 1 out of 3. So about a third of our teachers will be able and eligible to go for that in the near future. So there's a couple important points. Some more here. There's the timeline. As I said, they will go for ratification sometime around the 26th. So they'll be talking to their members. Members, of course, have to vote for this. But we were very honored to hear that I believe it was unanimous amongst the executive committee. So that was important to us. There's the agreement right there. And then just, okay, a mahalo. So mahalo especially, again, to OSA. So those were the highlights. Another couple things. The 4-year cost is $577 million, which we do have the resources for. But we're also mindful that we would always like to pay teachers even more. But we have gone through a couple things that we're wrestling with. One is that the Council on Revenues did make a small downward projection a few months ago. And if I may, one of the most important things our administration is fighting for is the GAP plan, our affordability plan, which is a tax break for people that are living essentially paycheck to paycheck. These are often described as Alice families, but many teachers are living paycheck to paycheck and month to month because of the cost of housing. And so in order to afford our tax package, which is critical, and at the same time afford to pay people well so that we can recruit teachers and keep experienced teachers, that was important. So that's where I wanted to start. The last thing I'll say is this. Teachers have historically when they came in new, started with pretty low wages, as low as $38,000. No one can afford to live in Hawaii if they're working full-time and earning $38,000. Maybe they have a kid or two that needs preschool. Just wasn't possible. So now entry-level teachers are going to start at $50,000 or more. And I thought that that was an important milestone for us to achieve, and I'm so grateful to everyone who worked on this to make that happen. So I will pause there and just once again say they did a terrific job working this deal out. Aloha. Yes, next we're going to have, let's see, Superintendent.
Thank you, Governor.
You bet.
Aloha and good afternoon. This agreement helps set a solid foundation for the next 4 years with predictable increases that recognizes the incredible work of our educators, our teachers, our counselors, our registrars, and our librarians who directly support student learning. Sorry about that. Thank you. It also helps elevate the teaching profession across the pipeline, from beginning teachers to veteran teachers to non-traditional teachers, while supporting their continual professional growth. Elevating the teaching profession aligns with the priorities of our new strategic plan around ensuring high-quality educator workforce for all public schools and ensuring high-quality learning for all of our public school students. One detail in the agreement that I want to call out is the provision for CTE, or Career and Technical Education teachers. A big focus for the department is to ensure that our graduates are workforce ready and have the competitive skills and knowledge to be successful in viable careers to thrive here and at home. In CTE, we need a combination of both traditionally certified teachers as well as those individuals joining us directly from industry to support students in our classrooms to lead this very important effort. Previously, CTE teachers coming from industry would have all of the qualifications on the industry side, yet in healthcare, engineering, culinary, or business, just for some examples, but didn't hold a traditional teaching credential, so they weren't eligible for the same pay as certified teachers. Under this agreement, we would be raising the starting base salary by nearly $13,000, helping us attract industry professionals into our classrooms at a much higher salary. This increase would also apply to special permit teachers for Hawaiian language immersion, those who are qualified and proficient in Olelo Hawaii, but are working towards teacher licensure. This is just one of many positive outcomes of this agreement. This was a fully collaborative effort with the Department and the Board of Education, HSTA, the Office of Collective Bargaining, and Governor Josh Green. I want to especially thank the members of the negotiations team on all sides. We work together because we value our teachers and we value public education. Thank you very much.
We're going to have Osa, head of HSTA.
Aloha mai. Osa Tui, President of the Hawaii State Teachers Association. We want to thank especially Governor Green, Superintendent and the Department of Education, our representatives from the Board of Education, and DHERT, and Budget and Finance, please fund us. Earlier this school year, we were able to, with the help of our legislators, align the teaching salary schedule to the years of service, and that was huge for our teachers. This contract that we got will continue to align to that teacher's years of service over these 4 years, so we're very grateful for that. It creates, as you heard, a new classification so that our veteran teachers can get some professional development again and move up on. We've had 4,000 of our teachers who are stuck at the last classification, so allowing them to have an additional classification is huge, and it's something they've been asking us forever and ever and ever. Since 2013, we really haven't been able to make substantive changes to our contract, so we're very grateful that now we've had that chance, and this is the strongest contract I believe we've ever had, and so we're very grateful to everyone behind me to help make that happen. We appreciate Governor Green, who came in on that last day, said, there's a couple more things that we need your help on. Can you come? And within half an hour, he was there. He was actively engaged in the conversations and got us to the finish line. So we're very thankful for that. Ultimately, this is going to help with recruitment and retention. And what does that do? It helps with our keiki who are in our classrooms, who are going to have highly qualified educators more now than before. That's what we need. We need to continue to recruit and retain, recruit our local kids to become teachers. This is going to help when we raise those salaries. So mahalo for that. And I hope that our members will vote yes, and I hope we have great news for you next week, Wednesday, that we've ratified this. Mahalo to all of you. I believe we have Brenna Hashimoto from DHERT. Oh, she doesn't want to say anything.
So yes, so what we'll do is well, again, we appreciate all the team. We can do Q&A now, and we do have Brenna and Lewis from the department, so if there's some technical questions.
First question from Hawaii News Now, Daryl Huff. One question, please.
How difficult was it to work out these COVID issues? I found it interesting that there was a discussion about what to do with emergency closure. What were the issues around that, and how is it going to look if there is another need for an emergency closure for whatever reason?
It was very much a collegial discussion. The questions I believe that we ultimately wrestled with were, what's the length of time before that would be triggered, whether it's 5 or 10 days. Ultimately, HSTA and the leadership felt they always want to be teaching our keiki, no matter what, and we felt that we always want to be able to help parents so that their children are getting an education. So there was a meeting of the minds philosophically. We just had to deal with some of the details. It was no problem.
Daryl, you good?
He's going to continue.
Thank you for the question. As Governor Green shared, definitely it was a collegial effort. It was very important for us that if we needed to shift to an alternative mode of learning, that those processes and procedures are in place. And so we can move forward to ensure that all of our students' needs are addressed as we move forward. Thank you.
And I think I'll just say that part of it was making sure that teachers have the time to pivot. You can't just at the drop of a hat move to an online or a virtual. You need that time, and if it's an extended time, we need time to come back. And so those were some of the issues.
I'll give you a little inside baseball, just so you know, we really worked together in this. There was discussion for a moment, probably more than you want to know, about whether that should be in perpetuity or for 2 years or 4 years. And we just said, look, just make it the term of this contract, because we learned that there are things we don't know when we went through COVID. It was quite shocking to all of us to have to close down the state these last few years. So we didn't want to commit anyone into perpetuity, and we respect the teachers too much to do that.
All right, Governor, our next question comes from Max with KHON2.
Yes, I have a question for Superintendent Hayashi. Hoping if you could go more into depth on how the new tentative agreements will help out new hires and recruitment, and if you give us an idea of the gap right now, like the shortage of staff.
Thank you very much for that question. Definitely the contract will help with our recruitment of new teachers with the starting salary where it is now with the new contract. Definitely as we move forward, as the governor shared with the establishment of Class 8, we look to also to use that as a means to help to retain our teachers within the profession. We definitely know that our students have a lot of needs, and by providing these opportunities for students, for teachers, for professional development and so forth, actually elevates our whole profession.
It's actually the difference between previously, if you had one teacher at entry level and a significant other taking care of their child at home, young child, they'd be living below poverty and would need Medicaid health insurance. Now, starting someone at $50,000, maybe their significant other, their spouse, works half-time, they're lifted out of poverty. So it's really just unconscionable that a teacher would have to live near poverty, frankly. So we're really excited about this. Also, there are a lot of teachers that are married to one another. It's elevating them together.
Governor, our next question comes from Casey with HPR.
I guess this question goes to HOSA. You mentioned that this is the first significant change since 2013. Why so long? What was that?
So in 2013, we were coming off of some pretty rough times in negotiations. So we said we wanted to sit down, we got to hash things out. So 2013, we did that. In 2017, it was more, here's some money. Do you want the money? We're not going to discuss anything else. And ultimately, our teacher said, sure, we'll take the money. Then 2021, COVID, so there were issues there. So this is really the first time we've been able to say, we want to sit down, have substantive conversations, open the whole contract, look at different things. And we did, and we brought forth a lot of things. The department brought forth a lot of things. We said yes to some things, we said no to other things, and we worked out the others that we see in our tentative agreement today.
I also have a lot of teachers that are relatives. They gave me a lot of crap about not opening up discussions about these really relevant points. And teaching is a way of life. It's not just about money, as OSA and others have shared over the years. It's about quality of life, too, because they're part of the family. And so there's some quality of life issues, I think, that were addressed here. And so we're happy to do that. We really are trying to, right out of the gate, show how much we honor our public workers and our teachers, particularly in this case.
Our next question comes from Eric with KITV.
Hey, Governor, so many wonderful educators in the state of Hawaii. Those that are on the fence, maybe teachers that have worked here for a long time thinking, why should I stay here? And educators on the continent that are considering coming out here, what is the main points you would emphasize as far as what's going on today, why they should come out here and become full-time educators?
So the first thing is we wanted to be able to provide a living wage. A lot of people have come out and dabbled with becoming teachers for a couple years and then left because it was simply too expensive. A lot of this discussion was more than just teachers and the HSTA. It was actually about cost of living. So now we hope that we can achieve some cost of living milestones. So that's one thing. Also, there are some terrible states out there that are discriminating against women. There are states where they are not providing adequate support for women's health care access. There's all sorts of reasons that people might want to restart their lives. And I feel that in the area of education, we have an opportunity to help with our gap, and in healthcare, we have an opportunity. You're going to be seeing some major announcements on healthcare recruiting in subsequent weeks. And this is our opportunity. I hate to be, I'm not trying to be a vulture and come and take other people's teachers or healthcare workers, but if we can provide a better space for them to work and live, raise their children, we're going to do it for the benefit of our state.
Governor, our next question comes from Andrew with Honolulu Star Advertiser.
Right, for the governor. Hi. On these late, or can you say specifically what late sticking points you got involved directly with, and if it's a long list, maybe also the biggest one that you helped resolve there?
Sure. The last couple sticking points really revolved around how to help our most experienced teachers, how to empower them to advance to a new class. And we felt that was very important because we're constantly over 1,000 teachers short, and I really didn't want to see us experience early retirements. There was going to be more money because our economy is good, but that might not have benefited teachers that are already committed 15, 17, 20 years. And so we had some debates, and I just thought, you know, let's set aside differences and make sure it was not too difficult, that it was reasonable to go to the next class. So that was a big one. What else did we have to negotiate in the last moment?
The emergency closure.
Oh yeah, the question of emergency closures. Well, so not surprising to you, I had a lot of experience with COVID and the pandemic, and it was very traumatic for teachers and parents because of the experience. And so we really wanted to make sure we were respectful of both sides because though we don't anticipate a scenario like that again, and now we're much better equipped than ever before if there's a crisis to pivot, we needed to have some clarity on what would happen. So those were two big things. We already had agreement on the finances of the contract and what we thought would be balanced.
Okay, Governor, the final question comes from Ben with Civil Beat.
Over here.
Sorry.
Thanks, Governor. So this is, I guess, more of a clarification kind of question, because you guys have talked about it a little bit by now. But I know last year a big topic was this idea of teachers' pay schedules being aligned with how many years they've worked there. And so what is the actual status of that right now? I know there was the compression that was fixed last year, I guess, that one-time spending bill. But what is the status right now going forward?
Yes, that's an excellent question. And I'll let some of the guys give a little bit more technical answer. But there were some individuals that didn't benefit from the decompression of the pay rates. And so under some circumstances, individuals will be able to get bonuses to make up for being kind of left out during that. It's not a simple process, and everyone has devoted different amounts of time to elevating themselves. That's what makes it a challenge. But from our perspective, we wanted to reward teachers for hanging in there, and we didn't want to see anyone leave the discipline. Every time you have to train a new professional in any discipline, you're talking about a year or two salary to really start there and to get your value out of a worker on your team. And we didn't want to lose people. So we decompressed with some bonuses, but do you want to break that down? Okay.
So in 2013 and 2017, we had 4-year contracts, and those 4-year contracts always started with a step movement on the salary schedule, and then across the board the second year. So we've been moving steps 2013, 2015, 2017, 2019. 2021 was COVID, so nobody got anything. But in 2022, with the help of our legislators, we were able to get that fixed through our massive compression fix. And so now we're looking at 23 in this contract and 25, being able to continue that every other year step movement.
Yeah, and I think that many teachers would tell you that that step movement and being able to go through these classes is in some ways the lifeblood of advancement and better salaries. It's done almost all across the country, so we figured we want to be in line with what was previously mentioned. How do you compete with other states? Honestly, we want to grow our own teachers. We want kids going through middle school and high school thinking they're going to be a teacher. That is something that's important to us, and we think that this will probably begin to achieve that. Okay. Well, anyway, I'll just wrap by saying to all the teachers out there, I hope in my heart that you feel this is a good deal. We've worked very hard to respect your leadership and to respect you as we go forward. Teaching is the way we elevate our society. Wages have to increase, quality of life has to be addressed, and I think that's what's done in this contract. We could always find ways to ask for more, and we will going forward for all the people in the state. We're going to try to elevate everyone, but we wanted to do this first and demonstrate our commitment to education. So, aloha.
Okay, that was just Governor Josh Green with Osa Tui Jr., the president of the Hawaii State Teachers Association, and Superintendent DOE, Keith Hayashi. And that was what they were talking about, a tentative agreement reached between the Hawaii Teachers Union and the state for a new 4-year contract deal. And in the outlining of all of that, Governor Green did say that it will cost around $577 million. And the big takeaway of this entire agreement is just trying to get more pay for these public school teachers. One of the big things with beginning teachers, Governor Green mentioned, is that they usually were getting paid at $38,000. So with this new tentative agreement, it is hopeful that they're getting these new teachers up to $50,000 as a starting pay. And among the tentative settlement includes a 14.5% raise for teachers over the life of the contract, which again is 4 years. And that will equate to over $10,000 for each person on average. And along with that, they're also hoping to introduce professional job development, improved working conditions, and also just addressing teacher protections in this settlement. And looking forward, it is pending a ratification vote set for April 26th. And if passed, the new contract would take effect on July 1st. Thank you so much for watching this extended stream. I'm Emily Cristobal, and we'll have more information on this topic in our later newscasts. Thank you so much for tuning in.